thank you again to both of the nominees and your willingness to serve and your families. And your kids have been camped out there in the ante room having a good time, but they said that they can't wait to hear you answer more questions. So, Mr. Meador, on 13B, you know, we've had the FTC commissioners before us. I almost think you almost could get to a resolution before we could get to a resolution, but you agreed the importance of having 13B for consumers?
Yes, Senator, I think it's incredibly important that the Federal Trade Commission have the ability to return money to consumers who have been harmed.
Right. So do you have any thoughts about how to come to an agreement on restoration of that authority?
I would defer to this committee and Congress as a whole as to how best to navigate that. But if confirmed, I'm ready and willing to consult and assist with your office or any others to figure out how we can make that happen as quickly as possible.
But you see that refunds are part of that?
Yes, I believe when we have consumers who have been harmed by unfair or deceptive practices, one of the best things the FTC can do is get the money back to the consumers.
So, but refunds writ large are a good way of preventing anti-competitive behavior.
They can certainly be a tool. I think, you know, everything is obviously fact-specific. It depends on the case. But if confirmed, I look forward to working with the staff to examine what's been effective in the past and what we would want to do in the future.
Okay, thank you. And then I know you got a question from one of my colleagues on PBMs, but Senator Grassley and I have reintroduced our PBM bill that is about outlawing spread pricing and clawback actions by PBMs. Do you have thoughts about that?
I can say I enjoyed working with Senator Grassley's staff on the Judiciary Committee on many of these same issues. And if confirmed, I would really appreciate consulting with your office and others to talk about what the best legislative solution could be in this industry.
But do you think that that's, you know, I like this anti-manipulation authority. I've given anti-manipulation authority to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. I gave it to the Commodities Future Trading Commission. They both have established a very aggressive oversight of very anti-competitive and manipulative practices. In fact, both agencies have gotten billions of dollars in fines against companies. The FTC hasn't done so much here. But Senator Grassley felt very specific about saying these types of practices are illegal. You don't have any problem saying that.
I would want to see the final report for the 6B study that's currently pending before the commission. I think that's the first step we have to take. I've been looking at PBM since I was in law school, writing about them. I'm familiar with a lot of the concerns in the industry. I also know things have changed a lot since then. So I think it's important we understand what's happening in the marketplace today, and then we'll know what's
well, there could be good actors who basically do get you a discount, but if somebody goes to a large employer and says, I'll get you a 35% discount, and then they pocket 30% of it at the PBM and only give the company and the workers 5%, that doesn't seem like a fair way to do business. Okay, I have to ask your seatmate there, Mr. Krastios, about technology. I'm sure people talked about test beds while I was gone. You believe that that's a vital role that we play at the federal level when, you know, aviation or quantum or, you know, somebody can't do the scale at which an industry needs to get an answer.
Yes, test beds have served a very important purpose for a wide variety of technologies. NIST, for example, has a lot of experience in building test beds as well.
And so where do you fall? I love that Senator Lee was here as well as Senator Hagerty, because they both, well, one comes from a very benefited DOE state, and the other one is chairing now the Energy Committee. And these are initiatives oftentimes on the test bed side that are at DOE or at NSF. Mm-hmm. What is your thoughts about the president's NSF comments, and how do you think these two agencies fill that role of doing that test bed work?
I think both NSF and DOE have proven with the CHIPS Act implementation and with work that was done even before that for both AI and quantum centers, there's great opportunity to leverage those two agencies with their rich history of funding and creating and organizing user facilities to be places where a lot of these very important test beds can reside for the communities.
So you want to speak loudly about how robust that is. Is that correct? Is that I want to make sure I get the characterization. I don't want to, you say this and then I'll find out, oh yeah, go ahead. Take a meat cleaver to NSF.
I think it's critically important that through an interagency process that OSTP is able to relay the importance of the scientific and technological community to the larger discussion and ultimately to the decision of the president. And I commit to bring to bear the science and technology advice to those conversations.
Okay, that sounded more like a politician than a science guy, but okay. What about spectrum? Do you think that we could use a little test bedding on the spectrum technology to help us really move ahead of our competitors here and really get the solution for the future?
I do. I think it's important to do kind of advanced spectrum testing. When I served as acting Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering, we did some work around 5G test beds at some of our military bases. And why that was sort of an interesting opportunity was that some of the regulations around approvals for these types of tests were much easier when they were done on military facilities. So I think across all emerging technologies, I think we have to be innovative and thoughtful on how to be able to make sure that the U.S. is continually leading on these technologies.
Thank you. I'll have more questions for the record on that. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Cantwell, and welcome. We are delighted that you all are here, and congratulations on your nominations.